Everyone knows that tofu tastes like and that's what everyone will tell you if you've ever tried it in a restaurant, unless you've gone to a restaurant where they actually eat tofu themselves. Making your own tofu at home, especially crispy tofu, will totally convert you to the joys of tofu. My husband is an absolute carnivore. Well, he was, but I've managed to switch him to eating tofu. Tofu is made from soybeans, and soybeans have 36 grams of protein per 100 grams. When it's made into tofu, and I've got several flavors here, this one's my favorite, it's got seaweed in it. When it has been made into tofu, ready-made, you can get it from the shops. This ranges between €2 and €3, which is about $2 and $3. They're more or less dollar for euro the same. This has around 20 grams of protein per 100 grams. With silken tofu, it's a bit different. It has more water content and it only has just over 5.3 grams of protein per 100 grams. But I really like silken tofu. It's amazing as a replacement for yogurt. So if you can't eat dairy, switch to eating silken tofu. It's not easy to get hold of, especially in Portugal. I have to go to the health food store, but it's like a tasteless set custard. I can't say that. A tasteless set custard, and you can use it in sweet and savory dishes. I'm going to show you lots of recipes in the future using silken tofu and all the different tofu. Now, a top tip if you want to really change the texture of your tofu is to freeze it. Smoked tofu, take it straight out of the packet and slice it like you would ham and put it in a sandwich. It is delicious. I think this is much better than fake meats because it's a really nice product made from just soybeans and it's been smoked. When I used to go to Taiwan a lot on business, I would see the ladies on their bikes going and fetching this fresh every single day. So this one is just smoked tofu. This one here is also smoked tofu, but it comes with sesame seeds and peanuts. So check out your local health food store and you'll find all these amazing different flavors. You can eat them straight out of the packet. You don't need to cook them. And I see lots of people showing all these complicated ways to prepare tofu by pressing it, by wrapping it in tea towels. I don't do any of that. I eat it straight out of the packet, or I prepare it straight out of the packet. These are soybeans, and these were about €2 for organic soybeans, and I make my own milk. I should make my own tofu, but I have a really tiny kitchen, so I just use the convenient method and buy it from the shop. But let me show you what soybeans actually look like. Soybeans are really cheap and they're really flexible. You can sprout them like you would mung beans, so bean sprouts. You can boil them and eat them just as ordinary beans. I love them because they're really round. They're almost like a garden pea. But they also make an amazing drink as soya milk. And I'm going to make a full-length video about that another day. This is my favourite tofu. It's actually locally made in Portugal in Algarve, and it has seaweed in it. So I'm going to show you today how I make my fishless fish fingers. I really love fish finger sandwiches and I really do miss those. So let's get making our fishless fish fingers. They're really simple to make, really cheap and crispy, and if you don't tell the kids, they probably won't even notice, apart from the texture's a little bit different. Take the block of tofu and simply open it with a pair of scissors and pour the water away. We're not going to press it, not going to do anything fancy. And then we're going to slice it into 9 slices. So this is enough actually for a family of 4. I can't eat more than 3 pieces, even if I really try. I'm using corn flour to coat the slices, mixed with some dried garlic powder. You can zhuzh it up however you like with some chili powder, curry powder, or just some basic herbs. And we're going to make sure that every slice is coated really well in the corn flour. Now, because I don't like washing up, we're going to use the same bowl, and I'm just pouring in some soy milk and mixing a little bit of apple cider vinegar. You can use any vinegar. This is just the easiest way to make vegan buttermilk. Now we're going to make sure that every single one of those slices is coated in this glorious milky mixture. And now it's time for cornflakes. I just buy the cheapest brand cornflakes from my local supermarket and I scrunch them up as small as possible. If you're feeling fancy, you could use some panko breadcrumbs, but I really like cornflakes. It is actually the easiest coating. Now we're going to get the oil nice and hot. You can do them in the air fryer, but today I was frying them obviously to film this, but then I was going to warm them up in the air fryer. So just fry them gently on both sides until they are beautiful and golden brown, but watch them because they do burn really quickly. I thought with the crispy tofu fishless fingers, I would serve some crispy kale. Now, my husband doesn't like dark green vegetables, but this is a vegetable that he absolutely loves, and I'm going to show you how to make it. But first things first, we've got to give it a wash, because I buy this from the organic shop, and there's a lot of snails in there that I need to find a new home for in the orange grove. I've washed the kale, I've spun the kale so it's nice and dry, and all we've got to do now is take the hard stem off the back. So just hold on to the leaves and pull that back stem off, and then I'm going to pop it in a bowl, and then we're just going to put a little bit of olive oil and salt on it and get it ready for the air fryer. Don't throw the stems away, because you can put them in the freezer and use them to make vegetable stock, or you can chop them up and use them in dog food. A little drizzle of olive oil, and I've got some flavoured salt, but you can just use ordinary salt, but make sure that it's sea salt. It's not that table salt that's been processed. This is natural sea salt, and I buy this from Spain, and it's got herbs in it already, so salt, pepper and herbs. And we're just going to smush the kale around to make sure that it's got a little bit of oil on it, so that it becomes really crispy when it's in the air fryer. You can do this in the oven as well, but you want it on a kind of medium heat. In the air fryer it takes around 7 minutes, but keep an eye on it, check it every 2 minutes, because it burns super duper quickly, and also it becomes really light, and it can be sucked into the fan at the top of the air fryer. So just be careful. I would just keep checking it every couple of minutes to make sure it's not burning, but this is the best way to get children and husbands to eat their greens. I thought it would be a really good idea to show you how I line my air fryer to make sure that it stays nice and clean. Rip off a square of greaseproof paper or baking parchment, baking paper, whatever you call it. Fold it into 4, and then again, take your scissors and cut a petal shape. Scrunch it up, because it sits better in the basket, and then line your air fryer with this. Now I've got a top tip for you. The fan in the air fryer can pull the paper up and the paper burns, so I put a spoon on the paper to stop it lifting off and burning. And then we're just going to pile the kale on top and pop it in the air fryer. I'll put all the temperatures and timings in the description. It's just come out of the air fryer. I put it on for 150 for 5 minutes, checked it, 150 for 5 minutes, and it's super duper crunchy. Wow, it's really addictive. Love it. That is my crispy kale and my fishless fingers, and I'm just going to sprinkle on the top some sesame seeds, some toasted sesame seeds, and that is my second meal of the day. That's fully vegan, it's gluten-free and dairy-free. Here are the crispy fishless fingers. They're amazing. With the crispy kale. If you enjoyed my video today, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to keep all of my content free. Thanks for watching. Have a beautiful day.